All right. How are y'all doing? All right. So, yesterday, you should have turned in your student info sheet. If not, you should have turned it in today. And if not, you should turn it in tomorrow for sure. Uh, and you turn in your goal sheet on Monday in class. Yesterday, you got the one-step equation assignment, right? So, I guess I should actually have that in here. Maybe. There it is. One-step equations. The one from yesterday, turn that in if it's done. If you're not done with it, for some reason, okay, after the warm up, you can work on it. Okay. We are having a quiz next Friday. Everyone should have Chromebooks, right? Now, this is very important. Your Chromebook is meant to be your calculator, foremost. Okay. It can be a distraction. We don't want it to be a distraction, but it's useful if you finish your work, if you want to do something academic or even entertaining, since phones are not allowed, right? So real quick, I want to make sure you know how to get to this Desmos. So when you're in the launch pad, there's and by the way, this is the way I want you to get to Desmos. You could type desmos.com, but that's going to get you a different version of the calculator, the one you're not allowed to use. Like, you don't want to be using one and then it look different on the test, right? So it's important that you go to the launch pad. Your apps are different, but you find this math folder, or you can just type in the word Desmos into the top right here. But in the math folder, there's a green Desmos graphing calculator. This is the approved Texas version testing graphing calculator. That's the one, okay? So I wrote it right here on the whiteboard, Desmos from the Launchpad. Now, we'll come back to that. Let's do this warm up. So again, you walked in, you started your warm up, you wrote down the solving two-step equations on the I can column, right? And then you wrote down these three problems and tried to solve it on your own, right? So let's get it. Number one, how is this different than yesterday's one-step equation? It's that there are two steps. How do I know there are two steps? Because there's two numbers on the side of x. I'm trying to get rid of this -2, and I'm trying to get rid of this 3, this +3. The question is always, which one do I get rid of first? And I'm here to tell you, the one you want to get rid of first is what I call the loner. It's the number by itself, which is right here. It's the +3, okay? So we want to get rid of this loner, not the one that's buddies next to x. The constant, the loner, and I'm going to do it just like yesterday. And you have it on your warm-up sheet in front of you from yesterday. How do I get rid of a +3? What's the opposite? Negative or minus or subtraction. -3. Cross out the opposites. Bring down what you have left over. So -2x comes down. Equals comes down. And then what is -7 minus 3? Now, you might be confident in your ability to subtract positive and negative numbers, but some of us need to check ourselves using Desmos, okay? So -7 minus 3 is not 4. It's not -4, and it's not 10, okay? -7 minus 3. So if you were not sure, you would go here to check yourself. -7 minus 3. Has anyone never used Desmos before? Who has not used Desmos? Yep. You've used, okay. So you all know how this works. You type it in, you get your answer, -10, okay? So -7 minus 3 is negative, not positive, -10. That's one step, and we're halfway done. Now, the only thing we need to get rid of now is the number in front of x, which is right here. How do I get rid of the -2 in front of x? Now, look, this is the most common error here. When y'all see a minus sign 2, some of us might think, oh, don't I have to just add 2 to get rid of it? That's not right. But I get your reasoning, right? You see a minus sign, you think the opposite of plus sign. I get it. But I want you to remember, a number in front of x, if you look up here on the invisible map, a number in front of x is invisibly multiplying in front. So what's the opposite of that multiplying? Dividing. Okay? So a number in front of x, even if it's negative, you have to divide. Divide by -2. It has to match. So not divide by +2, divide by the exact same number. on both sides. Okay. Scratch them out on the left. X equals, what is negative 10 divided by negative 2? Now, if you're doing it mentally, you know negative divided by a negative is positive. 10 cut in half is 5. But if you're not sure, come over here, press divide first to get a fraction bar. Negative 10, down, negative 2. It is 5, but it's not negative 5. So if you're even a little bit unsure, please use Desmos, okay? 5. Number 2. Now, is number 2 a two-step equation? Here's x, and I got 2 numbers to get rid of. Hey, that's a two-step equation. And like I said earlier, what do I get rid of first? The loner. What is the loner? The minus 2 is the loner because it's by itself, okay? The x and the 5 are related by the division, but the minus 2 is by itself. So to get rid of, the opposite of minus 2 is positive or plus 2 on both sides. We always got to do opposites. Cool? So minus 2 and plus 2 cancel out. Bring down that fraction, x over 5. Bring down the equals. What's negative 6 plus 2? If you do not know, Desmos it, but it is negative 4. Now, whenever you have a fraction left over, variable on top, number on the bottom, remember to get rid of a division, the opposite is multiplication. We showed you this on yesterday's warm-up, so look on the same sheet you're looking at. To get rid of a division, we multiply, so those 5s cancel out. Bring down x, bring down the equals, and negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. Okay? Desmos can help with the computation. Last one. Now, is this a two-step equation? There's only one number, but this is kind of a deceiving one. It's kind of a Decepticon. I'll show you in a second here. Let's think about this. What number, what constant, what loner am I trying to get rid of? So is this a positive or a negative 9? This 9 is positive because there's no negative on the left of it. This minus sign goes to the x, right? So this is a positive 9. What's the opposite of positive 9? Negative or minus 9 on both sides. Scratch out those 9s. Now be careful right here. What's in front of that x still? Negative. The negative goes with the x, so when you bring it down, negative x equals, and then you can use Desmos, or subtracting a negative gets more negative, but it's negative 13. Not positive, not 5, not negative 5, okay?
Why is it not 13? It is
because you're not multiplying. So only when you multiply or divide do the negatives cancel out. Right? 2 negatives make a positive only multiplying and dividing. But when it comes to adding and subtracting, it's kind of like you owe me $4 and then you owe me $9, so you still owe me $13. You know what I'm saying? You keep the sign when you're adding and subtracting. Now, is negative 13 the answer? No, because it's not x by itself. We still have a negative sign in front of the x. Now, let's go back to invisible math. If it's just a negative sign, that really means there's an invisible negative 1 in front of the x. That means I got something in front of x that needs to go. Well, we're going to be reminded of this first one. Whenever there's anything in front of x, how did I get rid of it? I had to divide. Cool? So, to help myself, I'm going to draw the 1. Or actually, I'm going to not do this. 1 second. Yeah, draw. Okay. I'm going to put a little 1 right here. So it's negative 1x that I need to get rid of that negative 1. Any number in front as a coefficient, I must divide on both sides. So those negatives cancel out. I have x equals, and all a dividing by negative does is change the sign. So it becomes a positive 13. And again, one little sign difference is completely wrong. I'm not a partial credit guy. I'm not ooey gooey. It's right or wrong. Dang it. All right, so that's how it works. Go ahead and work on finishing yesterday's assignment. And because we have reintroduced and reviewed two-step equations, I'm going to give you a two-step equations assignment for when you're finished with that one-step equation assignment. Okay? All right, here we go.